no good people in America. None. I keep hearing about all these good people. I haven't met any of them yet. How do friends push you to suicide? Well, you're not the popular one, are you? You're not the pretty one, are you? You're the one that people come and dump all of their bullshit on. But they don't ever listen to your bullshit, do they? They don't care who hurts you. Let's start with housing. Does housing help a victim to turn in their fucking predator? In Chapel, Nebraska, I jumped through all their goddamn hoops to have jack shit. To not be able to see my friends. To not be able to turn in my predators. Because out of all of the pieces of shit who pretended to be my friend, not a single goddamn one was. Now here's how you can tell if they're your friend or not. You tell them you're being abused and they want to talk over you. They want to shove you into fucking housing and fucking therapy and forget you fucking exist. Fuck this goddamn country and everyone in it. Literally every person does the same thing. I try telling them what's going on, and they talk over me, over and over and over. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Well, why don't you shut the fuck up and listen if you actually fucking care? So I'm going to tell you about my friends before Natalie was killed. Yeah, they talked nice to me, but they never lifted a goddamn finger to help me. Not a fucking one of them. No matter what, you tell me just to ignore it, pretend it's not fucking happening. What the fuck is wrong with you? Maybe one of you fucking shits could focus on the goddamn abuse and turning it in! Let me tell you about housing in Chapel, Nebraska. Right after the Virginia bullshit in 2016 when them dumb druggy whores didn't want to fucking tell their mama the truth. Well, fuck it. Not my goddamn fault. I drove 1,700 miles to get away from them. That should have been the fucking end of it. But it fucking wasn't. Not one of my goddamn friends cared. Not one of them gave a flying fuck! I went to my friends. I told them what was going on to the best of my ability. But I can't force them to listen instead of talking over me. So, of course, people wanted to shove housing on me. Oh, yeah, sure. Shove Sean into housing. That'll stop the abuse. That'll stop the social isolation. No, the fuck it won't. It was in Chapel, fucking Nebraska. And how many of my friends in Chapel, Nebraska gave a shit? None. Not a single fucking one. Brenda Dickinson was a useless, goddamn druggy piece of shit. You like that? She doesn't like it. She doesn't want to be called a druggie for smoking pot. Of course, you guys pretend I'm a druggie for smoking pot. Shit, I don't even fucking like pot. Right now, I'm smoking tobacco out of an aluminum foil pipe. Because that's what I got. You know, I go public with this shit for a fucking reason. It's because shitty goddamn friends don't help anyone but themselves. Let me tell you what shoving me into housing in Chapel, Nebraska did before Natalie died. It cost me all of my fucking disability money. Because I was running back and forth between low income and that fucking place, Region 1, where they were supposed to help me stop the abuse. But they fucking didn't. They just fucking took advantage of me. No one fucking cared. Nobody fucking cared. At least in Boulder, Colorado, I had sober friends. I had people that I could go see that weren't fucking stoned all the goddamn time, or fucking drunk all the goddamn time, or constantly chasing pussy or dick. I had a friend named Brandon Ratner. He was gonna sell me a vehicle. He fucked me over pretty good. Why was I still friends with him after he fucked me over? Because I needed fucking help and I didn't have any friends. Same as now. Everybody got their own idea like they know better than the fucking retard. And they won't shut up and listen to what I am going through because I got some fucking band-aid that's gonna fucking quick fix all my goddamn problems. I have to move my fucking car. I have to move the whole fucking car full of evidence. I have no fucking money because I spent all my money doing all this shit that these people expected me to do to get their help turning in predators. Fuck this goddamn country and everyone in it. What did I get the first time I was in low-income housing in Chapel, Nebraska? Well, the lady who was supposed to be my caseworker quit her job. And I didn't have a caseworker. And I was still having to endure the abuse. Nicole Peralta kept on trying to send me to Colorado. My disability's in Nebraska. They're not going to fucking accept it in Colorado. How do I know? Because I followed instructions and went to fucking Colorado. All I got was fucking abused, dismissed, blown off, fucking assaulted, repeatedly. Then after Natalie was killed, still didn't have any friends who gave a shit. They all still did the same thing they did before Natalie died. Talk over me, dismiss me, pretend that I'm a bad person for having fucking emotions. While these dumb cunts want to fucking whine on goddamn Facebook because they spent 2 days without their penis. Holy shit, bitch. You can't handle 2 days without that dick. But you want to give me advice about living for years in this fucking hell. Literally everyone talks over me. Everyone. After Natalie's death, police were able to do what they did because not one of my fucking friends, just like for the entire year before Natalie died, not one fucking friend gave a shit. Not one fucking friend listened. Not one. Not one fucking person to this day gives a fuck about my side. Not one goddamn person cares about the truth. Shoving someone into housing doesn't stop abuse. All right, we got our first troll of the day. What do we do with these dumb cunts? You already know it. Take a screenshot. And of course, hide user on this channel. That's our first dumb cunt of the day. Goodbye. After Natalie's death, I was able to get into an apartment in Sydney, Nebraska. However, with all the court shit that I had to fucking jump through because I was fucking assaulted and I didn't have one goddamn friend who gave a fuck. You just want to shove me into housing while I'm fucking railroaded because you don't give a shit. You want me to spend a bunch of money, and if I spend all this goddamn money jumping through your fucking hoops, you'll help me, right? No, you won't! Every single goddamn person who did that, every goddamn one lied! So I was able to get that apartment, but I couldn't keep it. Why couldn't I keep my apartment? Because I couldn't keep driving back and forth between Nebraska and fucking Colorado for goddamn corn. Not one goddamn friend made any goddamn effort. Not one to this fucking day. There was a lady who was going to help me to turn this abuse in 5 months ago. Instead, it's been, hey, run around to this place, run around to that place. Have you gone here? Have you gone there? Oh, Sean, I'll help. No, you're not fucking helping. None of this shit matters without a friend or family member to help me turn it in right away. You help my predators get away. You help them. That is not a fucking friend. So I had my apartment after Natalie died. What did my fucking friends do? Rip me off. They ripped me off and nobody fucking cared. Not one goddamn friend to this fucking day gives a shit because I have no friends. I never did. Americans are shitty fucking people. They are selfish. They are greedy. They don't give a fuck. this goddamn country and everyone in it. So, yeah, I had to make a choice between going to court and keeping my apartment. What happens if I miss court? Oh, well, there's a warrant. So I made sure I went to fucking court. After getting all of my fucking disability money ripped off by people who are supposedly my friends, and I can't even turn them in! You pieces of shit! So then I had to live with Dallas Richmond, the alcoholic. He was an alright roommate. But his ex, Harley, is a violent bitch. Sorry, I didn't mean bitch, I meant cunt. Harley Richmond is a violent cunt. What do I reserve the word cunt for? People who get others hurt or killed. That would for surely be Harley. Anyway, because Harley is an alcoholic too and couldn't stay sober and decided to go driving around with 5 kids in the car while drunk as a fucking skunk. Yeah, I had to move. I was able to finally get into low income again. Assisted living. But I had zero fucking assistance. When you let it go, you let it go. You help the predators to get away. Every fucking one of you. Every goddamn one of you who pretended to give a shit should have stuck your head in the toilet and fucking flushed instead. So I was finally able to get back into low-income housing there in Chapel, Nebraska, in the assisted living. But I still couldn't go to the cops because the cops were still committing fucking felonies against me. I still had to deal with Chris Kurth and his bullshit, and not one friend gave a flying fuck. It's not that I wasn't trying to get help stopping the abuse. It's that nobody gave a fuck. They only care to push you to do what they want. They don't give a shit what needs to be fucking done. They will waste your goddamn time on trivial shit because they don't give a fuck. So Chris Kurth, who had been harassing me with the Snell family and others, he just kept it up. And nobody gave a shit. Just like here, you protect your fucking predators, don't you? Evidence. That's the important part. I need help going through evidence and turning it in. You trying to shove me into fucking housing is not going to turn my predators in today. And you want to pretend I can get into housing? Let me tell you about the second time I was in housing in Nebraska. I literally had to break the fucking windows in my goddamn apartment to try to get the goddamn cops to do their fucking job because not one goddamn friend has lifted a goddamn finger to help turn in the abuse. Matter of fact, not one goddamn friend would even stop and listen to the fact that I was being abused. They were too busy telling me bullshit like, oh, you just need to love yourself. A bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. You ever think about moving? You You ever think about moving somewhere else? You know, Sean, you should just let it go. Meanwhile, many of these people, after spending just a day or two away from their loved ones, are already typing about being suicidal. Do you lock them up? I am 100% assisted termination of life, especially for those called mentally ill. We don't matter. The moment you hear the word mentally ill, that person is no longer a human being to you. You start seeing them as Ted Kaczynski and Jeffrey Dahmer. You start pretending like they're out to kill everybody because they're crazy, and that's what crazy people do in Hollywood. Well, I don't live in fucking Hollywood, bitches. I live in the real fucking world with real fucking problems. And the biggest fucking problem is that when there's abuse against an at-risk adult, you're just gonna look the other fucking way or tell them they just need to fucking love themselves. You're gonna tell them shit like, oh, well, you should be fine with being alone. I'm fine with being alone. Really? Because anytime you need, you can call your husband, you can call your kids, you can call your mom. You can ask for the help that I can't. If you're not able to call those people and get the help that you need, well, you and I still aren't the same boat. See, while I've never, ever been charged with murder or any form of child abuse, I get assaulted often and frequently by people who want to pretend I'm a murderer and a child abuser. Meanwhile, most of my predators are child abusers. Hell, even Andrew Wolnez has a history of child abuse. Am I the only person in America who doesn't abuse children? Seems to me I must be. I see how police interact with children who have been abused. They give the victim a choice. You can either stay with your predator or we can lock you up. Oh, geez, that's fucking pleasant, isn't it? So with Chris Kurth not leaving me the fuck alone, Brenda Dickinson not helping me to turn any of it in, shit, she was too busy getting stoned. Lovely. You think you could fucking sober up enough to actually keep your word? No. That ain't gonna happen. Now, when I broke those windows, of course, I got in trouble for it. And then the cop tried lying to me, saying that I could go get my stuff at any point in time. What cop was that? Sean Holloway. Sean Holloway's a fucking piece of shit. When I have to turn these son of a bitches in, I have to do so with a friend or family member, and I have to record it. So, living in Chapel, Nebraska, in low income after Natalie's death, having to deal with Chris Kurth and the Snell family fucking with me. Yeah, that was real goddamn pleasant, wasn't it? And I had to turn in Scott DaCosta to himself. Meanwhile, Leslie Snell started working for Scott DaCosta. So I had to tell her, one of my predators, about how her boss is a fucking predator. Not that it fucking mattered. Her and her husband had already taken part in the abuse against me. You might have noticed I tried real hard to be nice about the situation. And what did Scott DaCosta do? Committed felony after felony after felony after felony, but nobody gave a shit. So I got to turn in a felon cop to that felon cop. Well, that's against the fucking law. If I have to break the law to protect my friends and family, God damn it, I will. I've shown that time and again. But I'm not going to break the law unless you force me to. Oh, we got this Sam feller. Type hello, and then there's one here. Well, we'll take a screenshot of this and we get rid of Sam. It's amazing how that works, how easy it is. Hide user on this channel. And you see how easy it is to get rid of them. See, my predators just pretend, and it's okay. You pretend somebody's a child molester, it makes it okay for you to assault them. Now, if they were an actual child molester, you'd go to prison for it because it's a hate crime. So why doesn't anybody go to prison for their hate crimes against me? Well, that's because I'm not a child predator. I'm not a child molester. I'm not a child beater. I'm the hero I needed as a kid. Quick share of hands here. How many of y'all have ever been to prison for protecting children? I'll put my hand up. So the second time I was in assisted living in Chapel, Nebraska, I literally had to break windows to try to get the cops to do their fucking jobs. That should not have been necessary. So all these people wanting to shove me into housing. That second time I was in housing in Nebraska, I was supposed to have a caseworker through Region 1. Her name was Jen Beebe. She literally never called, never showed up for 6 months. She was court ordered to do her job. When you are forcing victims of long-term abuse to turn in that abuse to literally their predators by name, you're a disgusting piece of shit. Fuck America. See, there's one thing that's missing in all of my court dates. The truth. I keep trying to get people to look at the abuse that I'm enduring. But they don't want to do that. They have a quick 5-minute band-aid that'll fix everything. Why don't you get into housing? If you're not going to help me to turn in abuse now, you're sure as shit not going to do a goddamn thing when I'm in housing. You're going to go, oh, you're in housing. All your fucking problems are fixed. Bye-bye. So here, people got all these great ideas of why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Why don't you help me turn in these crimes? I've been trying to turn in the assault at the hospital since January of last year. And none of the people who said they would help me to turn that in have even listened to the fucking story. They're too busy saying, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Motherfucker, why assume that I didn't? So yesterday, I went to CARE. The man that I spoke with, well, I was asked this morning not to say his name, despite the fact that he broke the law last night. That's not pleasant. He's not allowed to go talking about my case or my situation with civilians. Here in Oregon, it's only a class 3 misdemeanor, depending on what was said. If it puts me at risk, though, well, it becomes a felony. Neglect of an at-risk adult results in abuse. Also, for any of these people, neglect of an at-risk adult carries with it the potential of prison time. Up to 25 years. 25 years. So let's talk about this situation. I try getting help turning in abuse right away. People always want to change the subject to housing. Yeah, if you get into housing, it'll fix everything. No, it won't. No, it won't. Having a friend or family member who gives a shit, who will help you turn it in right away. That is the only help that actually helps. One of the ladies here, I asked her what she would do if this happened to her daughter. She said she'd raise hell. She'd make sure it was turned in if it was the last thing she did. But when it comes to abuse against me, I'm not her daughter. I'm not her son. I'm not her husband. I'm not her brother or her father. If I kill myself in my car or in one of these buildings, in somebody's bathroom, in the fucking porta potty, it's not gonna fucking matter. It's not gonna register to any of these people who dismissed literally every goddamn thing I said, even after promising me that they would help. What do? It's always shove them into housing. Housing will fix everything. I can't get into housing because I broke those windows. Meanwhile, I should not have had to break those fucking windows to bring attention to the fucking abuse that I was enduring in Chapel, Nebraska. Meanwhile, after Natalie's death, I had to deal with the same shit I had to beforehand. These pieces of shit not doing their jobs, not documenting a goddamn thing, not writing anything down, not recording anything, and trying to shove me into fucking Colorado. Why don't you go to Colorado? You know, there's services along the Front Range. You need to go to the services along the Front Range. There's nothing here in Western Nebraska. You gotta go to the Front Range. That's right. They try to shove you off onto another jurisdiction every fucking time. Housing will fix it. Housing will fix it. No, the fuck it doesn't. Does living in a house turn in abuse? No, it doesn't. The fact that these people keep trying to force things upon me that I can't afford, it's fucking dehumanizing. How the fuck am I going to pay $600 a lot rent? Huh? How am I going to pay that? I get $800 a month to fucking live on. A decent person would have put a fucking bullet in my head. Between bullshitting me for months and months and months and months, and putting a fucking bullet in my head. Putting a bullet in my head. Well, that's the only kind thing to do at this point. Not one person has helped me to turn in evidence. Not one. Out of all of the people that promised to do so, not one ever made the effort. I'm not saying not one of them ever succeeded. I'm saying not one ever even attempted it. There's not much more in this world as far as gross goes than an American. Oh, we got some dipshit. What do we do with these dipshits? I'd use her on this channel. You name a car for edit, motherfucker. So, the second time I had low income in Chapel, Nebraska, what happened? After I broke them windows. Well, of course, I was charged with it by police officers that I was trying to turn in. Imagine that. Should I have had to break a fucking window? No, I shouldn't have. Nobody should have to fucking do that. But when you're called mentally ill, nobody fucking listens. Nobody gives a holy fucking goddamn about you. Everybody thinks that you're fucking retarded, and their retarded fucking idea is gonna fix your bullshit. Guess what stops predators? Turning them in. Right. You know what guarantees that the predator will get away with it? You, as friends and family, saying, well, why don't you move into housing? Why don't you get into housing? Aren't you eligible for housing? No, not anymore. Because I literally had to break windows in low income in Chapel, Nebraska to bring attention to the fucking abuse. Yeah, Chris Kurth and the Snell family taking part in threatening my life. Yeah, that's pretty fucking illegal. Not that it matters. I've never known anybody from Chapel, Nebraska who's not a coward. Not one. Not even the Jepson family. You know what? That's fucking horrible to say because I used to have a lot of respect for those fucking cowards. What makes them cowards? Well, the same thing that makes the rest of you cowards. You want to tell me things that you're not going to tell the cops, you're not going to tell the public, you're not going to tell the court. So then, of course, nobody wants to hear my story. They all want to shove me into housing and forget I exist. Well, I was in housing, wasn't I? Before Natalie was killed. Did that housing stop the abuse? No, it fucking didn't. How about that apartment that I got in Sydney? Did that stop the abuse? No, it fucking didn't. How about low income the second time after Natalie's death? Did that help to stop the fucking abuse? No, it fucking didn't. Because the problem here is that you pieces of shit make disabled people go in alone to turn in abuse. When they try to tell you they're being abused, you don't want to fucking hear it. You want to tell them 10,000 other things they ought to be doing other than trying to turn in their fucking predators. Now, I've shown a lot of fucking evidence to people who promised to help turn it in, promised to help stop the abuse. And not a goddamn one of them ever kept their word. To this day. When you have to fucking beg people to tell the truth, they're not good people. When you have to beg them to listen to you instead of trying to shove you into housing, they don't give a fuck about you. Did getting into low income in Chapel, Nebraska the first time, did that make it so I could see my friends without being abused? No. Only turning in my abusers would have done that. How about when I was in Sydney in that apartment Did living in Sydney, Nebraska in that fucking apartment stop the abuse? No, the fuck it didn't. Only having a friend or family member to help turn in the abuse is fucking help. When I call you because I need help and you want to shove me into housing, you want to shove that idea at me for months and months and months, just like these fucking idiots here do. They're not hearing my story. They don't give a fuck. They had this idea and they're going to run with it. They're going to keep saying it over and over and over and over until I do that. But once I've done what they want, are they going to help me to turn in the crimes? No, they're not. They're going to do what everybody in Chapel, Nebraska did when I was in housing. Fucking ignore me. Oh, wait, not everybody ignored me in Chapel, Nebraska. My predators didn't ignore me. My friends did. Chris Kurth didn't ignore me. He abused the shit out of me with others. What did my friends do? Did they help me to turn him in? No, they said, oh, Chris is no big thing. He's not a problem. You know, Chris is just a mouth. You know what? Chris Kurth didn't knock his shit off for over 2 years. Over 2 years of Chris Kurth's bullshit. So yesterday I talked to this asshole down at CARE. Same asshole I talked to last time. He did the same shit he did last time. Fucking talk over me, disrespect me, and treat me like I'm a goddamn liar. No, go fuck yourself, you piece of shit. I got plenty of evidence to show that I'm not fucking lying. But you ain't gonna get past that part, are you? Because the moment I say the police harm me, your ears turn off and you're just gonna talk over me. Fuck you. Do I know that guy's name? No, I don't. The lady who's coming to see me at 10 o'clock this morning knows his name, though. When I talked to him yesterday, it was the same thing as the time before. He just talked over me. Just like everyone else. Everyone's got some fucking idea that'll fix my goddamn problems. Meanwhile, they don't know what my fucking problems are because they're busy talking. They got some fucking quick fix. So then there's, what's that son of a bitch's name? Chris, fuck, what's his name? Here in Tillamook. Chris, fuck, I can't remember. I'm sure I'll remember later. Now, what's the problem with that, Chris? Well, he didn't want to hear my story. He wanted to make fun of me, and him and his friends wanted to make fun of me and make jokes. Or and also threaten to harm me. Oh yeah, that's real pleasant. That's real fucking friendly, isn't it? Then he wanted to say that he's got this friend in Salem who can get me into housing. What a bunch of fucking horse shit. It didn't stop the abuse, did it? No, the fuck it didn't. Why do I record? Because you're all liars. All neurotypicals are liars. You're prone to it. When you say that autistic people are social morons or autistic people don't get social cues, yeah, we actually do. You don't. When we're being abused, yeah, we're exhibiting signs that show that you should probably shut the fuck up and listen because we're overwhelmed because we're being abused. Telling us, oh, well, you might have housing in 2 or 3 months. That doesn't stop abuse. The abuse at the hospital here, because not one of these fucking people, not a single goddamn one of the people who said they'd help me turn it in, not goddamn one of them has lifted a goddamn finger to do any goddamn thing of the fucking sort. People need mental health days. Sure, they promised, but they need a mental health day. I don't get mental health days. Telling me that you can get me into some fucking shithole in Nehalem. That doesn't fucking help me. That begins my problem anew. Because I have to start over from ground zero. It takes about 6 months to be able to accumulate everything that you need just to have a fucking mailbox when you have to depend on low income, a fixed income. How many of you could live in your house on $800 a month? That's not counting groceries. That's not counting gas. That's not counting your telephone. Most of you can't. The ones who can are in low income. An RV park is not low income. When an RV park says they want $600 a month, they want $600 a month. That's just for lot rent. So there's this guy who's going to give me a 28-foot camper if I can find a place to put it. I have no fucking money. All right, I can't fucking take care of myself. And all these people who can see that I can't fucking take care of myself, are they fucking speaking up about it? No, they're not. They're preaching at me. So this guy at CARE yesterday wanted to be dismissive and disrespectful to me. And last night, he wanted to talk to one of the people that knows me here that does want to help, sort of, about things that he's not allowed to talk about. It's against the law for him to talk about. But he did it anyway. Meanwhile, everybody wants to keep shoving the housing thing. Housing. Everybody's got somebody that they know somewhere else. And if I move somewhere else to this other place, magically everything is fucking fixed. No, it's not. You people have helped to destroy my name and my reputation. You have helped my predators to get away. You have helped them to harm me to the point that there is nothing in my life worth living for. I've been taking physical assaults from Andrew Wolnez for 5 months, and in that 5 months, people couldn't make time to help turn them in. When they did make time, I got to talk to people on their break or on their lunch. Yeah, I don't like it when people harass me on my lunch, but that's when I'm told to go harass these people. And I do have to call it harassing because that's the way Safeway sees it. I'm harassing employees on company hours, and that's very true. It's very true according to work policies. So I try not to bug these people at work. If I do, it's when I'm buying something. I'll fill them in on a couple of details while I'm buying something to eat, buying something to drink. When they go out on their break, it usually becomes conversation and, of course, break time. It's not focus on the abuse that Sean's going through time, ever. It's not focus on what Sean's saying, ever. It's not focus on listening to the story, ever. It's about listening to respond. Lori and I talked about that yesterday. Well, more than once, because that's what everybody does. Good intentions don't do shit. Sure, you intended on looking at that evidence. You intended on going in with me to turn it in. You intended on making the phone call. You just didn't follow through. Because I was never able to turn in any of the crimes committed against me. Not from lack of trying, but from other people's lack of give a shit. Other people's lies. Don't lie to me and promise me that you're going to help me turn it in tomorrow, when in 5 months, I'm still going to have to fucking beg you to keep your word. In 5 months, you're still going to keep trying to shove me into fucking housing. In 5 months, you're still going to be sending me back to care. In 5 months, you're still going to be asking me, did you call it in? No! I fucking didn't! I fucking can't! Not without a friend or family member. Without a friend or family member who gives a shit. My only options are to commit suicide or curse, scream, whatever it fucking takes to get attention to the fucking abuse. I am living a life of hell because not one goddamn person actually gives a fuck. This is what puts at risk adults at risk. Is your lack of give a shit. Your lack of fucking respect. Your lack of respect. Every time you talk over the victim and try to shove them into fucking housing as a goddamn solution. What you're doing is downplaying the fucking abuse that I'm going through and pretending like something will fix it that fucking doesn't. I'm tired of talking people out of beating the fuck out of Andrew Wolnez. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of trying to get help stopping abuse. And people's solution is more fucking abuse. Wolnez should have been locked up 5 fucking months ago. But nobody's got time, nobody's got time, nobody's got time. When they do have time, it's time to tell me what to do, what to think, and what to feel, because they know better than me from not fucking listening for 5 months. It's hell. The assault at the hospital happened last January. I've been trying to turn it in since last January. I've been getting talked over, dismissed, and bullied for trying to turn it in since last January by the very people who said they'd fucking help me turn it in. I'm trying to tell them what's going on, and all they can do is make the same suggestion over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Hey, how about shut the fuck up and listen? If your daughter is raped, are you going to focus on turning in the rapist? Or are you going to start telling her that you're sorry and tell her about the time that somebody was raped in 1968 and it was on the news? Or are you going to fucking try to make her feel like shit because you have other things going on? Or do you promise to help her tomorrow? And then tomorrow you don't show up. You don't answer your phone. You completely ghost her. And then 3 days later when she's fucking pissed because she's been raped again, while waiting on you to keep your fucking word. Americans are disgusting people. So again, I tried telling this guy this morning, hey, I need to turn the crimes in. I need help doing that. Shoving me into expensive ass goddamn housing that may or may not happen does not turn in the abuse. And as a result, it does not stop the abuse. I will be abused no matter where I fucking go. You want to send me to Nehalem? I don't know anybody in fucking Nehalem. What I do know is that there's a very high likelihood that somebody in Nehalem will recognize me and make my life hell. I was also told, hey, why don't you go to Manzanita? Because if I go to Manzanita, it's only a short matter of time before somebody recognizes me from their fucking internet bullshit and makes my life hell. How about I move to Portland or Salem or Eugene? Right? All you're fucking doing is cutting me off from any support network that I've made. Cutting me off from every fucking resource that I fucking have. Meanwhile, I'm paying for resources I can't fucking use. And there's lots of people here who said they'd fucking help me out with that. And they haven't. They haven't followed through. All of your fucking ideas are better than turning in the victims, right? Right? Because there are lots of victims of these crimes. I'm not the only one. Why don't you turn in the crimes committed against us with us instead of trying to talk us into doing something else that's going to waste our fucking time? Between helping me turn in Wolnez when he fucking assaults me and me having to go through 5 months of maybe you'll give a shit. No, because at the end of 5 months, you're not going to give a shit. At the end of 5 months, you got some magic solution to shoving me into housing. I have no fucking money. I can't fucking fix my car. I can't jump through all these hoops. It's not fucking possible. Do you bother to find out why I've been cut off from all of these fucking places you keep trying to send me to? Why don't you listen to what the fucking issue is to fucking begin with? Oh yeah, you're too busy telling me what to think and what to feel. Every time I try to tell you what the problem is, you're going to talk over me and tell me what to think and what to feel. Go here, go there. Are you going to those places with me? No, you're not. And you're not politely suggesting. You're fucking bullying. When you say that you're going to help me to turn in the abuse, that you'll take a look at the evidence, that you'll listen. Well, you don't listen. So you don't know what the fuck is going on. So you don't help turn it in. You got some fantasy idea in your head about how it fucking fixes shit. No, 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 no. That shit only works if you have a friend or family member who helps. And yeah, it don't take fucking 6 months or 6 fucking years to turn in fucking crimes. When I tell you there's a safety issue with the police and that they're not going to do their fucking jobs, and you say, all right. And then later on, you're like, well, did you try calling it into the police? No, I fucking can't, stupid. There's a reason I messaged you. There's a reason that I let you know. Since day fucking one, I've told you repeatedly, I have to do it with a friend or a family member. When you go in with somebody who's gonna try to act as a friend or family member, but they don't know what the fuck is going on, and they walk you right into the same bullshit trap. And then right there, unfortunately, is exactly what the fuck it is. It's a goddamn trap. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Fuck you.
That's Andrew Wolnez's voice. Jesus Christ. Well, it's time to call 911, isn't it? Andrew Wolnez has a protection order against him. He's not allowed to do this. Now, how many times has he called from restricted numbers? Well, let's take a look at this. Andrew Wolnez doesn't give a fuck about the law. But who's going to help me turn it in? Nobody. Let's see. There's a restricted call and another and another and another and another and another and another. See, right after court, Wolnez just couldn't stop himself, couldn't help himself. This man was born a predator. Now, what good is it going to do to call the cops? What good is it to call the fucking cops here when the cops have committed felonies against me? Good fucking question, isn't it? Now I'm going to go inside and I'm going to tell somebody about the shit that Andrew Wolnez is pulling. Over and over and over again. Now what happened when I answered it? Andrew Wolnez. Now the real question is, who gave him my number? You see, the cops spoke with him on at least 3 occasions. Never served him with any goddamn paperwork. Well, hell, they'll invent a way to serve me with paperwork, won't they? So I guess it's time to go let somebody know who says they care, and let's hope they do. Let's see if this one time I get help turning it in right away. Probably not. Meanwhile, there's a gentleman who wants to give me a RV or a camper trailer, and yeah, that would be a great thing to live in. The problem is, logistically, I can't afford it. Also, it doesn't help me turn in my predators. It doesn't help to stop the abuse. So what am I doing now? I'm going to turn this shit in, I guess. Now, how many of these people who fucked up do I hate? None. I'm a forgiving son of a bitch. While people don't try to understand my situation or how it affects me, I do try to pay attention to others and how it affects them. Wolnez straight don't give a shit. Predators don't care. Wolnez is just as much of a predator as Officer Martinez and Officer Lothman and Deputy Reeves. He's just as much of a predator as Tim Beeson. Now, Tim Beeson is a child molester. Ted Bollinger is a child molester. Both of them are child rapists. Not that it matters. You guys don't give a shit. Why do I speak out? Because somebody has to. God bless the rain, right? There's all these people want me to do all these things, and I say yes, even though I know they don't work. Because at least, maybe these people will see that I'm making a fucking effort, god damn it. If I do what you want, will you help me how I need? I was fairly certain those restricted calls were somebody harassing me over Wolnez. I did not expect it to be Wolnez.
What is?
John's grandma in California, she's 84. Oh, 2 years ago, her and her 2 daughters were skydiving.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, she said she never again, but it was a fun experience. But she has to take her car every year for the grandkids' birthday. She always hands off in the car. And so everybody got it, and put the $2 bill in there. So everybody thought it'd be a wise idea that everybody made her a handmade card, and put a $2 bill in there. And got the front of the dad did one last night, and dog dad did like that, a little apple on the tree. And he would stick some apples on the ground, and he put the little names of her kids on the apples, and they got one of them. And then he put at the little bottom of the tree said the apples don't fall too far from their tree. And then he made a little pole for her.
Aww.
Dog mom came over and said, "This is the cutest thing." It's like Randy went all the way back to kindergarten this far.
Aww.
I was like, yeah, how sweet. Dog with a drawer, exactly.
Juanes is still stalking me.
Hey, Abby.
Andrew Juanes. Somebody gave him my number. He's been calling me all night. Yeah, he called me 11 times from restricted numbers last night. And he called me again about 10 minutes ago. I answered it. It's his voice. It's definitely him. He just said, "Fuck you." It's not funny, dude. This shit's been going on for 5 fucking months just from this one piece of shit. I can't stop it. I'm just freaking out, dude. Like between him and then little racist turds going by last night doing it again. Like, it's not just immature. I have to turn it in. This is the reason for getting a protection order is so that I can turn it in when this stuff happens. It's already recorded. Should I wait for Candy to come in to turn it in? Like they did the last 4 times? Yeah. I'm gonna go ask Joe what time she usually wakes up and see if I can call her. I gotta move my car. I can't do all this stuff. I'm not kidding. And that's what they're preying on. All right, I'm gonna talk to Joe real quick. I'll be back. And this here is why men commit suicide. When a man's being abused, you will let it happen. So the lady I'm supposed to get a hold of, she might be late by 9, maybe. So I gotta wait at least a whole nother hour to turn the son of a bitch in. Jesus fucking Christ. Now, who gave him my phone number? Kind of like who gave Tim Beeson my phone number. Who did give Tim Beeson my phone number? I found myself half a snipe, and then I thought to myself, you know, that Joe Blow feller happens to smoke cigarettes. I had to go harass his ass him.
Need another one?
Yeah, if I could. Fuckers are driving me nuts. The cops already let Wolnez know they're not going to do a goddamn thing. He can do whatever he wants. He's showing it. On the bright side, I got a little bit of a charge on my external charger, so even though my phone almost died, it didn't.
I don't think I have any chargers either.
That's all right. The library will be open soon, and I got my phone charged up to like 56% now. So it'll last until the library opens at least. I'll try call Candace from there. Sucks, they only give me 3 hours in a room though.
How do these people find your fucking number?
People are giving it to them.
Or how do they get your new number?
Somebody gave it to them. The people that I gave my number to that said that they would help, those are the people who have my number. So one of the people who said they'd help gave me my number.
Yeah. It might have been one of the cops for all I know. I'm always nice to Rodriguez when I go into the police or into the sheriff's department or the courthouse. He's always got a smug grin on his face because he knows what's up. And I always thank him for not being an asshole. Even though that smug grin is definitely assholeish. And this is why I record. I get called a liar no matter what, but at least if I record it, there's some chance, as long as someone speaks up, that I get to turn it in. You want me to go through a bunch of evidence, turn it in, but I don't have access to that evidence. I'm living in my fucking car and constantly moving around from place to place. I can't even pick my computer up to the second floor to work on it most days. Like, fuck. I hate being dependent. Thank you for wiping my ass, by the way.
Oh,
I probably won't get you anything for Valentine's Day, even though I probably should, just because your wife keeps messing with me.
you're all good.
Apparently, I keep hitting on her husband. All right, I shouldn't be entertained by that. It's just funny. All because I said, I can't even be nice to somebody nowadays without them thinking I'm flirting with them. Well, you're nice to my husband. My phone stay connected either, which is a pain. I'm gonna go sit in my car and try to figure it out online, I guess.
Have a good one.
Yep, thank you, Joe. Now, if I'd have had help turning in Molnez 5 months ago, we could have cut all this off. If I'd have had help turning in Tim Beeson and Ted Bollinger, we could have cut all this off. We could have prevented all this from happening to fucking begin with. Fuck this goddamn country. You heard a rumor, so it makes it okay to harm people, huh? Fuck this goddamn country. Fuck the police. And fuck pretty words. Pretty goddamn memes have never stopped abuse. Now, a lot of people have been pissed off at me a little for the last couple of days because they want to keep on saying over and over, if you'd have just let me beat his ass, if you'd have just let my husband beat his ass, if you'd have just let this person beat his ass or that person beat his ass. I said you just needed to whoop his ass. Meanwhile, there's not a lot of people who had my new number. And literally all of the people who had my new number are people that I went to for help. Hell yes, I don't have to smoke tobacco out of an aluminum pipe. I still got half a cigarette. And this is why shoving somebody into housing doesn't work. It doesn't get any sort of advocacy whatsoever. It doesn't stop the predators. It doesn't stop the abuse. It doesn't do shit. I was in fucking housing, assholes. Maybe you should listen to understand. Instead of throwing the same piece of shit temporary goddamn band-aid over and over again. If you say the same fucking thing 30 goddamn times, it doesn't show me you're trying to help. It shows me you're not fucking listening.